Hello, friends. Sorry, that sun is right in my eyeballs. I thought since we got through all the hard stuff from the other day, maybe it would be good to sit down and kind of talk about what some of the history of the property and give you a tour of the garden and kind of let you see what's going on here. Um, just real briefly, this house has been in my family for almost a century. I think it's about 80, 90 years. My dad, it may not be that old actually. Anyway, my dad helped my grandfather build this house when my dad was a teenager. So he learned how to play guitar on my very porch. I remember doing Easter egg hunts in the yard as a kid. So my grandson is actually the sixth generation of my family to live here. So that's really cool. But I thought while we were here that maybe I would kind of give you a tour, let you see what's going on, and we can talk about some upcoming projects. All right, so the first thing you see when you walk up is this. I've got a raspberry bush here in this pot. I really didn't think it was going to get as big as it has. Like, it's all the way out there. And I think it's going to get bigger. So looks like we're going to be putting that in the ground here really soon. But right over here next to it, we've got some beautiful zinnias. These are one of my favorite plants. And they are just doing gangbusters this year. If you look like down underneath, this is only from two plants that produced all of this, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. I love these zinnias. They actually come back every year. One of the things you'll see in the garden as we go through is most of what I've planted are perennials, meaning that they come back every year because I'm a lazy gardener. So that's what you'll see a lot of. Up next here, this is definitely not perennial, although it behaves like it is. This is a volunteer tomato plant. You can see it is loaded down. What's up, buddy? Little bee. It is loaded down with flowers and cherry tomatoes. One of my family members, I don't remember who, threw some cherry tomatoes over the railing of the porch a few years ago, and we have never been wanting for tomatoes because we have a boatload of them. I'm not kidding you guys. Look at this. This is crazy. So it just comes up every year. It got up close to, God, I want to say probably 12 feet a couple of years ago up against the porch railing. So I kind of moved these out a little bit and just left them where they are. And I'm just going to let them grow here, and we'll be able to pick cherry tomatoes whenever we come home. Up after the cherry tomatoes, Liz will walk around this way past the zinnias. And I've got a volunteer sunflower. And you can see it's one of those that grows like multiple sunflowers off of the one. And that was just from the birds. So I let it grow where it was. Down here, I actually planted some bee balm because we love our pollinators here. And a lot of this stuff, in addition to being perennial, also loves full sun. And that's what this garden gets here in East Tennessee. I've got some purple bearded iris here. This is one of 4 that you'll see throughout the garden. Clumps. There's the second one right there. That I divided these all this year, and there's so many again. So we've got a project coming up for all of these extra iris that we have. Down here along the front, in addition to this horrible weed, this is spurge. It is the spurge of my existence. I hate this stuff, and it is prolific. So I yank it up whenever I can. But here we've got strawberries that have several runners. So I've got to get out here and plant the runners because those are free strawberry plants once they take root. So you can see there's several that have runners there. This is a failed experiment, and what I thought would be cute, but actually has been a tremendous pain in my butt. I thought it would be cute to put a strawberry plant in that little birdhouse. It failed miserably. Well, it didn't fail. It's just I have no way of getting the things out. I have no way of getting to the strawberries or anything once they produce. So that wasn't my finest hour. Anyway, moving on. Mr. Snake here. This is fake. This is just to keep animals away. Back here, I actually made this. It's a bird bath. I found that vase at Carm. It's kind of like Goodwill. And this is a light fixture, also at Goodwill. And I put some beach glass on there. And that's my little pollinator feeder. Here we've got my one lone gladiolus. I planted a bunch of them, but this is the only one that's come up so far. And again, that one's from a bulb. Those were from rhizomes. The zinnias, I believe, were from seed, actually. And so we've got some more bee balm down here. Once that gets going, it's really going to attract some nice pollinators. And then coming up here, oh, rookie mistake. I thought this was corn. This is where you can see the shepherd's hook. I thought this was corn from the bird feeder. So I just let it go. And it turns out that it is millet, which is a type of bird seed. Oh, and it's got this really funky looking bug. Check that guy out. What's up, bud? So we'll let him be. But yeah, so I've got a whole bunch of bird seed for the birds here. There's another volunteer sunflower back here, and we've got another volunteer sunflower. And I'm not just saying that because we're in East Tennessee. These are volunteers from the bird feeder. Coming down this way, I've got the beginnings of a little coneflower. I've got one there, and then there's two more back that way amongst the weeds. But those are coneflowers. Those, I just planted those probably about a week ago. So they're still in their growing phase. Sorry about that. Can't have that. This is one of the other iris from that. I mean, it was a big clump. It's ridiculous how much iris we've got. I almost missed it back here. We've got a couple of banana plants. We've got a big project for that coming up. Wait until you guys see. Here in the middle, I've got 3 more tomato plants. Here, and here. And that's all from the tomatoes that grew up by the edge of the porch. There's another one. They're everywhere. I do have a little pepper plant here that I bought, as well as, I really think that this is squash or zucchini, one of the two. We'll see here in a little bit. And then I've got, what I'm hoping now are a few stalks of corn. I planted white corn, but I don't know with that coming up that that's what this is going to be. We will see. Yet another tomato plant. This is a beefsteak tomato plant. All the others are cherry tomatoes. And we just found that after a while, cherry tomatoes, like, it's hard to put them on hamburgers and stuff. So I wanted some beefsteak. So that's what that is. But that is yet another cherry tomato. And then here and here, I have these 2 pitiful pepper plants that when I planted them, they did not look like this. But this side of the yard gets the first sun, but it doesn't get like full all day sun. And I think that may be part of the issue. And then I've got another, it's either I think that's a gladiolus growing right here, that little guy. So we'll see how they do. But overall, this is side 1 of the garden. In the chair there, I do have some elderberry. Fantastic medicinal plant. When the berries come in, that guy's nowhere near ready. We'll just wait until we get to the other side of the garden. You'll see what I'm talking about. But this is this side so far. Now on the other side, I've started like little secret projects, little secret areas of the garden. The first being over here, I've got some sedum. This stuff comes back every year, bigger and bigger. But like, see how I've got this, it almost looks like they're spilling out. It's little things like that like you're the only one that knows that they're there. And I love little stuff like that. So like I've got a chair right there, and it's got some lavender in it over here with some monkey grass. And I love that that's there because, like, unless you're looking for it, you can stumble across it. It's like a nice little secret, you know? So that's that. But then check this bad boy out. This is my dahlia. God, aren't those things gorgeous? I just love these. I planted this from a bulb, one bulb. It's taller than I am, and it's taller than I am, and I'm about 5.5 feet tall right now. So that's it's a pretty lanky guy, but it has filled in nicely. And one thing that you cannot see that I had to do this year is there is a tomato cage in here. You can just barely see the top of the wire. It's a little short tomato cage. But I did that because my gladiolas are always, my dahlias are always falling over. So that's helped it be a little bit more robust. And you can see we are being rewarded. It is absolutely stunning. Behind the dahlia, and you'll see more of these in a second, are these red canna lilies. And then up in the planters, up in the top, I've got some strawberries. Moving on around, we've got some more zinnia. I lucked out because it looks like I've got a few different colors growing in this pot. I'm pretty happy about that. I don't even remember planting them over here. I believe all of these zinnias may have come from this pot. So, that's a nice little surprise. Coming up next is another volunteer. This is an elderberry bush. Remember that one that's in the chair over there? This one is a little bit bigger. We are talking, it's easily 6 feet. It's huge. And they can get up to 15 feet. Love full sun, which is fortunate because that's where he's growing. I am going to move this guy along with the other 3 elderberries that I have over into the side yard. I'll let y'all know when I move it so that you can laugh along with me in my attempts at moving it, because it's gonna be fun. Anyway, moving on down from the elderberry, we've got Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley is sprouting a beautiful head of strawberry. There's no plants on it now, but there was, and there will be soon because they're ever-bearing. And then I've got another zinnia here. These 2 little pitiful guys right here are pansies, and they're typically spring. They're an annual. I thought I was rescuing them from Kroger, and that's just kind of where they have. That's where they are now. I just don't have the heart to pull them up just yet, but I think their season is done. Over here I've got a mum. This baby has come back I don't even know how many times, and it looks like some of the flowers are starting to open up. That's always really pretty. Got a couple of, I don't know what these are. I think they're kind of like the bushes that you see landscapers plant when they're trying to fill space, like outside of a business or something. But Terry brought a couple of them home that they were left over from a landscaping project that his company was working on, and back when he was doing landscaping. So he brought those home, and that's where they've stayed. We are going to do something with this sign marker here. It's an old shovel that I put the house numbers on, so we're going to pretty that up and actually move that in an upcoming video. That's going to be fun, so stay tuned for that. Behind it, these are some cosmos that are coming up. These are so funky, and I am so in love with them. Look how, crazy. They don't look like anything else I've got in the garden, so I cannot wait for them to get bigger and start flowering. That's going to happen probably this fall. These are some more dahlias. These are actually purple. You cannot tell because we have had a lot of on-again, off-again weather here in East Tennessee recently. And these are some orange dahlias that are struggling a little bit, but you can see they've got some new growth on them, so that's really great. So I'm excited to see that. Move that little weed. This, I believe, is a pink candle Victoria. And that's a full sun loving. And it's going to grow up really pretty as well. I've got another strawberry back there. These are the canna lilies. So I've got some here. I've got some there. I've got even more over there. I kind of like the way they're forming this drift. But at the same time, they are getting a little overwhelming. So these guys actually, along with the iris, we're going to be moving in a project coming up here soon. So definitely hit the subscribe and the like and the share button, and stay tuned for that. The same way I had those orange coneflowers, this is a purple coneflower, and I've got a couple of those. There's one here, and I'll show you right there. There's a purple one, along with a Velveeta wrapper from where I was composting, so sorry about that. But yeah, those purple coneflowers, those will come up here soon. Now, this is embarrassing, but I'm going to show you because I'm going to show you the good and the bad. I always will. We had a pond here a little while ago, and it has turned into just a bed of muck and nastiness. It's so gross. So one of the upcoming projects we're going to do is to get this sucker back up to its pristine condition, because this definitely is not it. Blech. So that's in an upcoming, that's going to be a project all by itself in an upcoming video. I also this year ordered some seeds from I think it was the agricultural department from UT. This is not what they sent. What they sent were beautiful. They turned into like these beautiful purple flowers. They were called, I think it's Phemelia, like Phemelia. And I had like these awful thorny things come up, and I either never had my gloves or I never had my trowel, and so the whole area just went to crap. So that's going to be an upcoming project as well when you see what we're gonna plant there. Now, this is like one of my favorite parts of the garden. So perilous to get to here. Remember I said I like little secrets? This is, I've got a bucket that sits at the end of the rain chain there, and I made a little stream that will dump out into the pond, and once we clear that area up, it'll be a little bit easier to see. But the neat thing is I have another section here. This sucker gets a lot of water, and right now it's got my Sarracenia, my pitcher plants in it, but that's going to need a little bit of help. So after this video, I'm going to jump in there and try and save that poor little guy. But this area right here, we're going to do the same river type thing. And so the water will come down from the ceiling or from the roof, collect in here, and then it'll overflow out into there, and we'll better secure my poor little Sarracenia there, my little pitcher plant. And then finally, a little bit more of the canna lilies, and look at those happy elephant ears. Good gravy. They are huge. Big old guys. So I love having those there. They are getting to be a little bit much because they grow like rhizomes. They grow from rhizomes every year, just like the canna lilies do and the iris. So I'm going to be taking those, and like I said, we're going to be doing a project with the cannas, the iris, and the elephant ear. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, that is the garden in a nutshell. Now you've seen what we're kind of working with here. You can see, hopefully, the potential. There's definitely room to grow. No, not you, elderberry. Definitely room to grow and improve, and I hope you guys will stick with me. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you again for hanging out and chatting with me. Love you guys, and I will see you later.